Thank you, everybody, for joining us today for today's workshop. Today is Tuesday, July 23rd, 2024. And we got the workshop here, so will the town clerk, thank you for being here. Congratulations,
pleasure.
welcome.
Thank you, thank you.
Please take the roll call vote.
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, roll
okay.
call, excuse me.
Okay, I will do
Attendance.
the roll call. Yeah, where's the, it's not on here? It's not on
First,
this
you have
thing.
to learn who we are.
Okay. Okay. Commissioner Milligan,
Here.
Commissioner Anaya,
Here.
Mayor Brennan,
Here.
Commissioner Donner.
Here.
All right, so everybody is here. Unless there's any objections, we'll consider the agenda approved. Hearing no objections, today, the workshop agenda is approved. All right, we have one item on the workshop, discussion of commission vacancy policy. Commissioner Donner, take it away.
Well, we have a big hole over there. And we need a procedure on how to replace commissioners if something were to happen. Resign, death, you know, that sort of thing. So I worked with Community Liaison Burke and Manager McCracken. We went through some of what Aztec had and some others and made it to where it was suited to us. One thing I'd like to add into it is if we were to, well, when we do, if there's not a majority vote, we'd have to do some sort of special election. So if it's, let's say it's 2 and 2,
Right.
how
So
are
it
we
doesn't
ever
go on
gonna?
forever and
Yeah.
ever and ever.
We saw that happen with the Bassett administration and others where it was always a 2-2 and can't get anything done that way. So that would be something I would add in here. I don't know where I would add it in there, but if in the future, if we weren't able to, if something were to happen and we weren't able to come to a majority, then I think we would need to hold some sort of special election. Thoughts? Or we find a new
Well-
candidate. I mean, I guess that's the other thing.
So I'm trying to think, because there's a lot of old rules in New Mexico, and I remember reading somewhere, and this was for back in the late 1800s. Yeah,
So-
that's why I say going back.
150 years.
Let's not talk about 1800, okay?
Yeah, I know, that's.
We weren't even a
They
state,
getting too
Ken.
close for
Numbers
you,
it
right?
as a hard
Ken, we weren't
time.
even a state.
Was it?
1912, we became a
Yeah.
state, dude.
Well, no, but not. It wasn't New Mexico. What state was it? I was going through a lot of old history stuff.
Wasn't New
And
Mexico.
What they were doing, when they had a tie like that, they were doing a draw of the cards.
I mean, I guess.
And I
you
know
could
New
do that.
Mexico has a history of using the draw of a cards on certain things.
I mean, we have a history of that. That's what we
Yes.
tend to decide.
I know.
who had to
I'm
do it
just saying,
before your
because
terms.
there is precedent, it's been done before in other places.
I mean, I guess we could potentially do something like that.
I mean, because special election costs a lot of money.
Dude, that's like wild, wild west type stuff, dude. We're in the 21st century.
Hey, I'm just throwing it out there, let's,
Uh-huh.
That's true, that is true, and it costs a lot of money. That's true.
Jeez. Okay. You guys,
I don't know how to make a comment. I have to say something like,
oh, goodness.
Mr.
Well, I
Chair?
certainly don't want to get in the middle of a card draw. I did want to mention that a special election
could be costly. It may be relevant depending on the distance it is till the next regular election. So if the next regular election is coming up in a relatively short period of time, it might just hold till then, just as a thought to save the money for the town.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another option.
Mr. Chair,
Madam Clerk?
it would be very costly, so it might be better just to try to talk it over and come to a consensus before moving to the idea of a special election.
Yeah, and I guess if we can't come to some agreement, then we find a different candidate everyone can agree on. I mean,
No, but you're wise to go ahead and put that contingency in there. Because, I mean, it is, it may not happen with this commission, but who knows further down the road.
Mr. Chair,
let me pen.
I would like to say that having a special election in there is more of like a fail-safe, as, you know, once we've gone through every step and the commission's tried to agree and can't get to that point, it may just be best to go to a special election. Although it's costly, it would be, maybe would keep the commission more mindful of getting along and trying to find that common ground prior to that
That is
being
true.
an option.
Yeah.
All right, so where would you want to put that in there?
Yeah. Yeah, so it would be 3.3, and you would move 3.3 and 3.4 that are existing. 3.2.1. Yeah.
Could we possibly add in there during the interview process that during a public meeting, the public could ask questions of them?
Yeah.
Just to give the constituents a say on who they may kind of want and ask.
Okay.
Other than that, I think it looks great.
Commissioner Donna, how's this wording sound for you?
I'm working on it. I'm working on it right now.
I've got something written down. I'm gonna throw it out to you, let me see what you think. In the event of a tie and no candidate can be selected, a special election will be held, plain and simple.
Can I suggest a time frame?
Yeah, time frame would be good.
Sure.
All right,
Within
so how about this?
120 days of the vacancy?
90 days. 120 is a long time, dude. That's 4 months. So 3.2.1, in the event that the governing body is unable to come to a majority vote on a candidate, a special election may be held within X amount of days.
90 days.
I like May. May sounds good. Not shall.
I like the time frame too.
Okay,
I think it looks great.
cool.
Go right ahead, mister.
Go ahead, it's a workshop, we can.
Yeah, I can give you some historical context, because this did occur once before, where there was a resignation from the council, and the 4 remaining governing body members were split and couldn't come to an agreement, and then somebody basically came forward and said, I believe I can be unanimously selected, and that person was unanimously selected. So it went through several names before they finally came to that person. So, just be, I think if there is a tie and you can't agree, I think you just have to try to come up with different candidates. That's a good solution. I don't think you can codify that, but I'm just giving you the in historical context for that.
It's what we would try to do.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, in the
Manager,
event that it's really a tie and something that starts to get close to a deadline, and we, for whatever reason, the town doesn't want to have to go through the process of a special election, could a coin toss be an option?
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Naya?
then if it were to be a coin toss, it's gonna be 4 coins. Because we are the ones that are
That's true.
selecting, not the
Yeah.
candidates.
That's flipping.
But on the other hand, we could make it to where the candidates do pick a card or something, like if there's 2, even 3. But I don't see how in the heck we could end up with a tie on 3.
Yeah, I'd almost at that point just do a special election.
Yeah, Mr. Chair? The conversation really is if you had one person that you were split on, right? So really, a coin toss would be either we pick that person or we don't. That would be your coin toss.
What
Yeah.
about if it's 2 different candidates?
I think what we're saying is if you had one candidate and you just were split on it.
So I know the other way things are done is if you have multiple candidates, whichever candidate a motion is made for first to go ahead, then a vote is taken. If a majority vote for that candidate is received, then that person is it, and the rest of the candidates are null and void. So, but if you can't get, if that first candidate doesn't pass or it's a tie vote, then you would go to the second candidate, same thing would apply, then you would go to the next candidate, same thing would apply. If you still didn't have
A majority on one.
a majority on one,
What, you do heads and tails between all 3? If it's tails, you lose? If 2 people get heads, you just keep going?
Can I talk?
go ahead, Sherry.
My concern is, okay, not if a commissioner dies or resigns. It's if it's removed from office. I've been there. We had an irreversibly split council that could not come to a decision. It would either be take it to court or have a special election. I'm just saying, under normal circumstances, the first time someone resigned, we were able to talk it through and pick someone. But the second time, we were so split, we couldn't even approve minutes. We couldn't do anything. And so it's under circumstances like that you need to have a contingency. Like this, Jerry's term is still, 3+ years?
Yep.
So
But
He would,
the next election, yes, you would. But, even in the meantime, it can bring everything to a halt. That's
Yeah.
why you guys didn't have a transition into this form of government. Everything came to a halt if you don't have a tiebreaker. And that's the only reason I think this is so important within a certain time frame.
yeah.
So,
I mean,
that's
we still-
all.
Yeah, I mean, we still have a year and a half
Yeah,
before that would happen.
so.
Well, I guess. it's
I
a little
have
less than
faith that
but
you
it's-
guys could come up with someone, but there needs to be a plan if you can't.
Well, and just because we can doesn't mean that it's sometime in the future
In the
when we're
future.
not sitting up here that doesn't mean that that group can.
Right. So, thank you.
So what do you think? Just go ahead and leave the contingency for a special election after 90 days if a decision can't be made?
Yeah, I mean, all the other ones are just luck of the draw
Yeah.
or coin toss. I don't know. I don't play my fate on that kind of stuff. So at that point, I'd rather just let the people decide.
All right. So you get your wording for your 3.2.1?
Yeah.
Okay.
Should I read it to you?
Yeah, go ahead, read it.
And then then give us a copy.
I will hand this to you right away. 3.2.1, in the event that the governing body is unable to come to a majority vote on a candidate, a special election may be held within 90 days.
Perfect, thank you.
It's very weird for it not to come to me.
I know, I'm putting it in the middle. I think I can do it. I think I can do it.
That's all I had.
That's good.
Just point out, we've been tied up with our special election ballot because we haven't hit certain windows and other things. You might want to say a regular 90 days at the earliest possible opportunity. If, because of that weird thing about special elections falling within time frames, either before or after regular elections. I'm not sure how we can handle in the event that that 90 days is up, but we haven't hit a window that would be placed in the next year or two.
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Naya.
I think the 90 days, it just means that that's when the filing is. We have to file for a special election within 90 days. I don't think that we can have an election actually held within 90 days because of all the legalities that we have to follow through.
It's when we would call for it.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
has to be a call, so we have 90 days to do that.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, within the 90 days, we still have the option to still find somebody.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
Special election may be
yeah, I'll go for that.
called. Mr. Chair, would you want to change the verbiage then to, in the event that a governing body is unable to come to a majority vote on a candidate, a special election may be called
Yeah.
within 90 days?
There you go.
That's better, yeah.
I mean, the rest of this I like. Anything else anybody sees a problem with?
No, I can live with the rest.
All right. The public want to have anything to say? All right, so it is on the agenda for the regular meeting, so with the new wording, we can present it and vote on that. So our regular meeting will start at 6 PM. That is the next thing. Other than that, I think we're done.
Motion to adjourn?
Have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
It's been seconded. All in favor of adjourning?
Yeah.
Aye. All right.
Linda. Hey, you gotta do one of these.
I did.
Oh, you did?